That's my last rant today. Any last thoughts, CJ? I'm pretty much done for today. Any last thoughts?
Yeah. I just want you to make sure you stick around for the outro video. I'm gonna play the Kyle and Kulinski video they put up about Trump is getting indicted. See, this is the thing that I don't know if you've been seeing the news, and Joe Scarborough is going to be pushing
we got
this
a lot
on Monday.
We got a lot
yeah,
of
like
Monday.
Trump enemy is coming, like he's getting arrested, he's going to jail. He's never going to spend a single day.
Yeah,
in
it's
prison.
so ridiculous. It's
so ridiculous. But this is the carrot the carrot and the stick that they do with these liberals. Oh, we're almost there. I was one of them, Nick. With Russiagate. Before Russiagate came out and said nothing was going on, that was my point that broke me out of the Democratic Party, even thinking that it was possible. I was like, this Russiagate, because I was like, believing, I was like, yeah, we have a spy in the White House. Get that motherfucker out. Then I'm start breaking this shit down. I was like, this shit is not adding up. And anyway, long story short, that's one of the tales of how I got here. That was one of the things that broke my mind.
We got to dive into that more on Monday because I actually know it's the same thing. Like when I was looking for propaganda segments, I was seeing these hopium segments. I'm like, dude, they're still doing it. They still doing these segments like, no, trust me, guys. No, I promise you. We're going to get Trump this time. I promise you. So I'm glad you got that too because I did see a few and we might do a segment on it because it's hilarious. We got a lot to cover because like with Jimmy, I actually threw 2 stories, but we get to those on Monday. What I say? I think make sure you guys, I got a few guests I'm working on for next week. Do you want me to stay on? Was there anything else, CJ?
If you need to take off, you can take off. I'm gonna play this thing they just released right here as an outro. But shit. No, this is goodness. This is it. Like I personally haven't seen it, but it says
Wait, you talking about them? Hold up, I thought you were talking about. Hold up, wait, I thought you were talking about Morning Joe.
Maybe we should watch a little bit of it. Maybe I'll watch a little bit of it right now.
I was like, hold up. So that's funny. I was like, I thought you saw the same Morning Joe segment I did. You saw the same.
No, I know which one you're talking about. I know which one you're talking about. We'll do that on Monday. We'll do that one on Monday.
The funny thing is, I assumed he was talking about MSNBC, bro. I did not know you were talking about Krystal and Cal. They're doing it. Wow!
I love these segments. How they come from live from our boutique home, live from home as we dress in our casual outfits with no makeup. Listen to us report the news. It's just a joke, but maybe I'll listen to a minute of it and just to see what they're talking about.
I'll be listening. I'll see you guys on Monday. I'm gonna head up. I'll be
all right. Go ahead.
See you guys.
What's up, guys? So we got some interesting news that came out yesterday. I'm interested to know whether or not you think it'll change anything, because that's a more important question. Politically, yeah.
No.
Okay. Well, all right, well, there's your answer. All right, video over. Anyway,
there we go.
So it looks like a Trump indictment is imminent.
Yeah.
So I'll have Krystal give some more of the details, but it's not like the issue that it's over is one of the ones where it's like, even if an indictment is imminent, even if a conviction is imminent, it's like slap on the wrist type stuff, right?
Yes. So this has to do with the old Stormy Daniels hush money payment, which I really had to reach into the deep recesses of my memory to gather all of the details of this one. But so this is with the Manhattan DA, Alvin Bragg. And basically the reason we know an indictment is imminent is because they effectively told Trump's lawyers that he needs to come and testify before the grand jury this week. Kitty just showed up. And that is apparently a sign that a person is about to be criminally indicted. So there's 2 charges relevant to this, and they have to kind of put them together in what was described in the article I read as a novel application of legal theory in order to make this into a felony versus a misdemeanor. One of them has to do with the payment itself. I don't remember if it was wire fraud, some sort of fraud type of thing with regard to the payment.
Because it was used with campaign funds. They paid her with campaign funds, which was the whole genesis of why it's a crime.
So that's the other part of it is a campaign finance violation, because they're saying that this was like an undisclosed contribution to his campaign. So So anyway, that is you put those two together and it becomes a felony. It's there's a possibility of, I think, at max 4 years in prison, but there's also not a requirement that there's any prison time. So that's what we know about it.
And I believe Michael Cohen was the one who delivered on the payment. So
Correct.
they're probably using him, to testify against Trump, and that's how they're going to get him.
Right. And I mean, he's obviously helpful for making the case against Trump because he's telling them, what happened and et cetera. But he's also not the most credible witness because he himself, was caught lying, et cetera. So they'll use his own character to try to undermine whatever his testimony is.
So what's a worst case scenario for Trump and what's a best case scenario for Trump in your estimation?
You're talking about in terms of
legally? Of punishment. So we already know he's getting indicted, foregone conclusion that's going to happen, right?
Yeah. Worst case is 4 years. I have a hard time imagining they would actually hit him with that. Best case is he gets off altogether.
Okay, best case is he gets off altogether. He's not found guilty, whatever. He does the whole, exonerated thing that he did after the 2 impeachments.
Right. There's also a chance that, he's found guilty, but it's like a fine and he doesn't actually, serve any prison time.
Can you imagine any scenario where it's like 6 months in prison or a year in prison? Or do you think that's so
I don't know.
Unlikely as to be like, no way?
I don't know.
I mean, part of the issue is, of all the different investigations into him, I feel like this one has the most potential to backfire.
Yeah.
Where you have the headlines of, it's an indictment. Well, then you rile up the right-wing base to support him even more. If you convict him and it's just a fine, it's like, he gets to play the victim game when there's really nothing but a slap on the wrist to him. So he gets even more support.
Yeah.
So it's like you're playing into his hands with this particular one. There are other cases where I feel like, there's there that's way more serious. For example, the Georgia case where they find the 11,000 votes.
Right.
Like there's more upside to that potentially because it seems more serious.
Right.
Seems like there might be more of a punishment associated with it. Even the stuff, which I don't even know if they're looking into it anymore, about how they basically defrauded their own supporters to the tune of $250 million when they were raising money for Stop the Steal. And then none of that money went towards Stop the Steal. That strikes me as like way more serious and potentially like a worse punishment or even a best case scenario for him. It's not that good. You know what I mean? But this is one of those where it's like, it could easily backfire.
I feel the same way. And I also think it's one where he could more easily make the case that this was political. Alvin Bragg was elected to this position, with, in part people expected him to go after Trump. So I think he'll make that case. And I also just feel like from a political perspective, all the Stormy Daniels stuff, people have kind of
Okay, I listened off screen to several minutes of it. They're trying, not them on the screen, but they're trying everything they can to make sure Trump doesn't run again, and so that he can expose more of their lies, which is just terrible.